They had taken his weapon. They had wounded him. They were marching him away as a prisoner. Most men would have gone silent. Leonard Funk laughed. Not because he thought he would live, but because surrender felt worse than whatever came next. January 29th, 1945. The Ardennes Forest, Belgium. Winter has turned the battlefield into a frozen trap. Snow lies knee-deep in places, hiding shell holes and bodies alike. Trees stand bare and black against a grey sky. The air bites at exposed skin, and every breath burns the lungs. The Battle of the Bulge is officially failing for Germany, but on the ground, the war is still savage. American infantry units move slowly, exhausted after weeks of brutal fighting. They are short on sleep, worn down by cold and hardened by constant loss. German forces, though retreating, are still dangerous. Many of them know this is the end. That makes them fight harder. In this frozen forest, a single machine gun position can decide whether men live or die. That morning, an American unit pushes forward through the trees when the sound erupts without warning. A German machine gun opens fire from a concealed position, cutting down the approach with ruthless precision. Bullets rip through branches. Snow explodes into the air. Men dive flat, pressing themselves into the frozen ground. The advance stops instantly. This is what German machine gun doctrine is designed to do. One well-placed gun can pin down an entire unit, buying time, inflicting casualties, and breaking momentum. Assaulting such a position is among the most dangerous actions in infantry combat. Among the Americans pinned down is Sergeant Leonard A. Funk, Jr. Funk is not a giant. He is not loud. He is not dramatic. He is a squad leader who has already seen too much war. He is cold, tired, and already wounded from earlier fighting. But he understands the situation immediately. If that gun keeps firing, his men will not move forward. If they don't move forward, they will die where they lie. So Funk makes a decision that most soldiers fear to even consider. He attacks the machine gun alone. He crawls forward through snow and brush, then breaks into short runs, closing the distance while the gun continues to fire. Each burst could be the one that ends him. There is no cover thick enough to guarantee safety. There is no backup close enough to help. This is not bravery born of confidence. It is necessity born of reality. Then, without warning, the situation collapses around him. German soldiers rise up behind Funk from concealed positions. He has moved too far forward. He is cut off. His weapon is taken. He is wounded and surrounded. In a matter of seconds, he is no longer an attacker. He is a prisoner. German soldiers begin marching him toward their machine gun nest. This is the moment soldiers dread most. Captured soldiers stop being part of the fight. Their fate depends on others. Survival becomes passive. Resistance usually ends badly. That is what the Germans expect. As Funk is pushed forward through the snow, something breaks inside him. He laughs. It is not loud. It is not mocking. It is disbelief mixed with defiance. The guards hesitate, just a fraction of a second. That is all Funk needs. He lunges for a nearby weapon and fires at point-blank range. The German soldiers guarding him fall before they fully understand what is happening. Funk does not stop. He pivots instantly toward the machine gun position. The same gun that moments ago had trapped American soldiers now fires back into the German nest. There is no time for the defenders to react, no time to reorganize. The reversal is too sudden, too violent, too unexpected. In less than 45 seconds, the position is destroyed. 21 German soldiers are killed or incapacitated. The gun falls silent. The forest, which moments ago echoed with fire, becomes eerily quiet again. When American soldiers finally reach the position, they do not find a captured sergeant. They find the obstacle gone. They find the path forward open. They find Leonard Funk wounded, shaken, and alive. This moment would later grow into legend. Stories would sharpen the details. Seconds would be counted. Numbers would be repeated. The story would become louder, cleaner, and more dramatic with time. But the truth is simpler. Leonard Funk did not plan this. He did not think about medals. He did not think about history. He reacted. Training, instinct, fear, and refusal collided in one decision. When surrender became real, he chose action, not because he felt fearless, but because he understood that doing nothing would cost lives. The U.S. Army did not accept the story casually. Witnesses were interviewed. After-action reports were reviewed. The incident was confirmed in detail. Funk's actions were recorded as fact, not rumor. For this, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. Yet Funk never became a public hero. He did not seek attention. Like many infantrymen, he returned home carrying the weight of winter forests and frozen seconds that never truly leave. The laughter people remembered was never joy, it was release. The sound of a man refusing the ending written for him. The recurring symbol of this story is the machine gun. In German hands, it represented control, inevitability, suppression. In Funk's hands, it became something else entirely, a momentary instrument of reversal. The weapon did not change. The moment did. Training, discipline, and a system capable of producing soldiers ready to act alone turned capture into collapse. This is how ground combat really works, not with speeches, not with certainty, but with seconds. In the frozen Ardennes, the Germans thought they had a prisoner. Instead, they lost the fight. And that is how 45 seconds became history. The larger meaning of Leonard Funk's action only becomes clear when it is placed inside the final winter of the war in Europe. By January 1945, World War II had stopped being about sweeping advances and bold maneuvers. It had become a war of endurance, where victory depended on breaking resistance one position at a time. The Ardennes forest was a perfect place for that kind of fighting. Thick trees, limited visibility, snow slowed movement. Radios failed, orders arrived late or not at all. In this environment, battles were decided by small groups and individual decisions, often made without guidance and under extreme pressure. German defenses relied heavily on machine guns for this reason. A single well-hidden gun could dominate ground, stall an advance, and inflict casualties disproportionate to the number of men defending it. German soldiers expected these positions to hold long enough for reinforcements or withdrawal. They expected American infantry to probe cautiously, to hesitate, to suffer losses. That expectation had worked for years. What Leonard Funk demonstrated in those seconds was that expectation itself could be weaponized against them. The German soldiers who captured him believed the danger had passed. They believed the rules of war had resumed. Prisoner taken. Threat neutralized. The fight would continue elsewhere. Instead, the fight ended right there. This was not unique to Funk's character alone. It was the result of how American infantry had been trained by that stage of the war. Soldiers were taught to act independently, to exploit sudden opportunity, and to continue the mission even when plans collapsed. Leadership was expected at every level, not just from officers. American abundance played a quiet but decisive role in moments like this. Funk had ammunition. The machine gun worked. Training had been repeated enough times that instinct replaced hesitation. These were not accidents. They were the product of a system that could afford preparation, repetition, and replacement. In contrast, German units in early 1945 were increasingly brittle. Shortages of men, fuel, and ammunition strained discipline. Exhaustion dulled caution. When something unexpected happened, recovery was slow or impossible. Funk's sudden reversal exploited that fragility perfectly. The psychological impact of such moments extended beyond the immediate fight. For American soldiers nearby, the destruction of the machine gun nest meant survival. Momentum returned. Confidence followed. For German defenders, it reinforced a growing realization that even control could vanish instantly. This is how the war was ending, not with dramatic breakthroughs everywhere, but with thousands of small collapses, each one eroding the will and ability to continue. After the war, Leonard Funk did not become a symbol in speeches or textbooks. His story lived mostly in citations, unit histories, and the memories of those who fought nearby. Like many infantrymen, he returned to civilian life carrying experiences that could not easily be explained. The event did not define his identity. It followed him. The laughter that echoed briefly in that frozen forest was never about triumph. It was about refusal, a rejection of passivity, a final assertion of agency when everything else had been stripped away. The machine gun, the recurring symbol of this story, captures the truth of modern war. It is a tool designed to dominate space and remove choice. In Funk's hands, for those seconds, it became the opposite. It restored choice. It ended the threat. It closed the moment. In the end, Leonard Funk's story is not about numbers or speed. It is about what happens when war reduces itself to its smallest unit. One person, one decision, one breath between surrender and action. That is how wars are truly fought. And that is how they are truly won.